So I'm going to rant a little bit about Upwork right now. During the last few months, I've been playing around with the idea of freelancing, and I'm open to it, not actively trying very hard to become a freelancer, but I figured why not test the waters at Upwork a little bit. I've done a few jobs on there in the past, so I have a good rating for the couple jobs that I did, and I figured, let me just see what they have to offer. And mind you, I've got 7 years of professional experience as a developer, as a designer. Like, I've got a good resume working for Fortune 500 companies, Fortune 100 companies, and public work, private work. Like, I've done a lot of different jobs or have worked for different companies doing the same job or variations of the same job as a web developer and some design work. So I have a good resume. I've got a good portfolio. I've got a little bit of experience on Upwork freelancing, and I've also got some freelance experience that I can mention on my resume. Everyone tells you that Upwork is a great place to make some money freelancing. I probably have even said it myself at some point, although I've always been very transparent and clear that I think freelancing is very tough. I figured, why not give it a shot and why not try Upwork? That led me to make this video because how disappointed I was after going on Upwork and trying to find a job or trying to get at least one freelance gig. I will say that the closest thing that I got to getting a job didn't even come from me applying directly to a posting on Upwork. It actually came from someone reaching out to me, which I ended up turning down because I decided to go travel. And this was when I was still in the US, and they were looking for someone a little bit more long-term on a contract. And it was actually a good opportunity. So, there's that. But when it came to applying for jobs on Upwork, that's where I found it to be a little bit painful, to say the least. First of all, I want to say that the majority of jobs on Upwork are garbage. Like, most of the job postings are trash. I would say that any job that doesn't have any history on Upwork, that it's like their first time posting, where people are looking to like pay you $5 to solve like a simple problem and they don't have a track record on Upwork, like, I would completely avoid those. And I would say that Upwork should probably do a little better at allowing those kind of posts, because there's so many of them where these potential employers or people who are looking for freelancers have like no rapport. They're just like no star, no payout amount, no nothing. They're just new people on there looking for a freelancer. They should make it to where applying for those shouldn't cost you anything as a freelancer, and they should make it to where those people should be vetted as hard as freelancers are vetted, because I know, as someone who has looked for freelancers on Upwork as a potential client and as a freelancer looking for clients on Upwork, I know that it is much easier to post a job than to get a job on there. And I will say that it doesn't take much for you to be able to post a job on there. And I think that they should do a better job of that, but then it would go against their business model, which I'll get into a little bit, because Upwork is just, it's a joke at this point, and they're not in favor of the freelancer or the clients. They're just there to make money, and that's what's really annoying about Upwork. But I will say that like the majority of job postings are trash. I noticed that for me, there's a specific tech stack that I am very experienced in, and it is a very high-paying tech stack, or a very decent paying tech stack. It is Adobe Experience Manager, which is AEM, and it's basically like Java backend, and front end is kind of like just regular front end. They have a different HTML templating language that they use for their server-side HTML, but I don't want to get into details of that. But I will say that it pays well. I've had AEM jobs before. I've had contract work that paid close to $100 an hour. Like, it's good pay. The jobs that I found on Upwork are complete trash. They're actually jobs that are trying to outsource people for pennies on the dollar. I mean, like, a job that I used to get paid $100 an hour for on a contract, they're trying to pay people like $5 an hour on Upwork, and it's laughable. It is a joke. I did find a few jobs that seemed okay in AEM, and I tried to apply for those, but I had no success because the amount of people that apply for jobs is ridiculous. Every job posting has like 10 to 20 to 50 proposals, and it's hard to compete with that even when you have experience. Never got any response from any of those jobs, even though I am very well qualified for those jobs. I think that the people that end up posting these jobs just get overwhelmed, and oftentimes like you just don't hear anything back. And as a freelancer, that really sucks, especially when you have to pay to play. You have to pay to apply to jobs. I just want to get into like Upwork benefits no one but Upwork. People looking for freelancers, they'll eventually find a freelancer, right? So like they benefit from it a little bit, but Upwork tries to squeeze money out of them by, pay to promote your posting, pay for this, pay for that. But the freelancers, they get completely screwed by Upwork. If you get a job, you have to pay the percentage. And on top of that, they make you pay with these credits for the jobs that you apply for. And that is extra annoying because like the freelancers are the commodity. We're the ones that people are going on Upwork for, right? Freelancers go on Upwork for the jobs, but the truth is that the people posting the jobs are the ones that are looking for freelancers. Like they need Upwork just as much as the freelancers do, but it seems like the freelancers are the ones that just get totally by Upwork. You only get a certain amount of credits to be able to apply for a job, and then they immediately try to sell you on their Upwork Pro for whatever, $20 a month, and then you get to buy extra credits so that you can make more proposals. And then the jobs, they have like no rhyme or reason. Some of them are 10 credits to apply, and some of them are 20 credits to apply. And they have this carnival style like token system that they use. I actually looked it up, and I looked it up on ChatGPT because I was trying to remember like what is that like pricing model called? I was trying to remember the terminology for this because I always called it like carnival style pricing, where you're kind of given a certain amount when you pay real dollars, you're given credits, and then nothing ever is worth the exact amount of credits. So you're always left with either extra credits or needing more credits. And it's really like a crappy way to draw more money out of someone. And that's what Upwork does with their proposal credits. And it's actually called breakage. And in the context of prepaid or credit systems, it occurs when customers purchase a certain amount of credits, points, or tokens to use within a system, like a carnival game or a prepaid card, but they end up not using them all. The pricing structure is designed in a way that it is challenging to spend all the credits without leaving some unused, encouraging additional purchases to make up the difference. The leftover value which remains unused generates additional profit for the business as it often goes unredeemed. Carnival game pricing strategy or prepaid credits, both strategies are designed to maximize revenue by ensuring that the consumer spends more than they actually use. Now, tell me that's not exactly what Upwork is doing with their proposal credits that they make you buy in order for you to apply for jobs and then gouge you for a percentage of the job that you get. It's such a poor way of doing it, but yet we're left with like no options. I haven't used freelancer.com, and I know that there's Fiverr, and I'm pretty sure that most of them are the same, but I want to complain about Upwork because that seems to be the go-to freelancing website, and the one that I've used, the one that I've been told to use, the one that I've heard a lot of people say that they do well with, and I just wanted to share some of my frustrations about the way that they do things here. Now that I've complained about how it's low pay, how it's pay to win or pay to play, and they use the carnival style pricing strategy, I want to talk about like when you actually do make money on Upwork, because the jobs that I've made in the past, I always remember that I would bid myself super low in order to potentially get hired, because I felt that I had more opportunities if I bid lower than anyone else to try to like build up my rating and build up my reviews on there, because maybe then that'll make me more marketable to the future freelancers. But the truth is that you race to the bottom in order to do that, and then you sell yourself short. So this time around, I tried to price myself at what I felt was fair for my skills and for what the jobs were asking. I kind of changed it with every job posting depending on what they were asking for. I wouldn't apply for any of the jobs that were really low pay because it was already insultingly low, and I couldn't actually offer to do it for any less unless I would do it for free. And I didn't care to try to build up my rapport on Upwork and work for free. So I tried to be reasonable with the rates, and it just still seemed like a race to the bottom. You can't really see what other freelancers are offering their services for, and that's fine. That's the name of the game. I don't care about that, but I did realize that I felt that even though I would price myself at a reasonable rate according to what they were asking for in the job posting as their pay rate, I felt like if I bid myself too high, I wouldn't get a call back. And then I felt if I bid myself too low, I wouldn't want to do it because I didn't want to do it for free. And if I was in a position where I was really, really trying to freelance and I really felt like, hey, I should sell myself much shorter and much lower in order for me to be able to get some jobs, to get some experience, I feel like I would race to the bottom. I wasn't willing to do that this time, but it's almost set up in a way that you have to do that. That doesn't benefit Upwork as much as it benefits the people that are looking for freelancers, but in a way it hurts the whole economy of freelancing because the skills that should be valued more end up getting cut a lot lower. And then people that go on Upwork to look for freelancers believe that paying someone $20 to make a website is like fair market value. And it's not. At this point in my career, in my life, and where I'm at, where needing money and having to freelance, I wasn't willing to play that game of the race to the bottom. And I'm pretty sure that that's what ends up happening. So in a sense, Upwork is damaging the economy when it comes to freelancing and what freelancers should be getting paid, especially for technical jobs like software development and web development. Like, it's a high paying job and it should be paid accordingly based off of like the difficulty of the work that you need to do. And I've seen some jobs on there that are just laughable at what they're asking, but still the job has plenty of proposals. So it shows you that people are okay racing to the bottom. And it probably happens to do with the fact that a lot of the people that are applying are probably applying from countries where it's okay for them to build a website for $20 because $20 is actually a decent amount of money for them. But overall, that damages everyone. And I hate the fact that Upwork is just a complete race to the bottom on every single job posting. And even job postings that seem like they're more legit, that they seem like this client has paid out X amount of dollars, they have a good rating, they've obviously been on Upwork for a while paying people, and they're asking for a decent amount of money, $50 an hour or whatever for a web development job, which is decent. $50 an hour is not bad, right? It's not the best, but it's also not $5 an hour. But it's the equivalent of $100,000 a year if you were to do that hourly for 8 hours a day for a whole year, which is good money. That's good money. Even when you get a $50 an hour job posting and then you say like, hey, I'll do it for like 30 or 35, which is underselling yourself a little, but still trying to like play the market and trying to get a job and trying to make yourself marketable to a job by saying, hey, I got the skills and I'll do it a little bit lower just because I'm trying to get a rating and I'm trying to get some experience on here, and still kind of playing that race to the bottom game. It just feels like that's the way it's set up, and it sucks. At the end of the day, you race to the bottom, you buy credits so that you can bid on job, and then you give Upwork a percentage of your earnings. It's a shitty situation to be a freelancer in, and I really feel for people who are freelancing right now, and having tried it a little bit has left a bad taste in my mouth and leads me to believe that these online websites for freelancing jobs are just bullshit. I'll finish off the rant a little bit about that, right? The truth is that these websites are kind of like bullshit. They're not your end all be all to getting freelance work, but many people will market it as where you should go to try to get some freelance work. Many people will tell you that they've made a lot of money on Upwork, and I don't doubt that they have, but I feel that times are changing, and considering that Upwork has been around for a while, and I know that they had a name previous to Upwork that I don't remember off the top of my head, and I know that they've been like the go-to, and I know that many of these online websites are the go-to way to get your shoe in for becoming a freelancer, and I know that many people tell you to do it that way. There's alternatives, there's other ways to do it, mostly through your network of people that you may know. Maybe start locally, like a lot of people will tell you, go to local businesses. I saw something recently where there was a guy that started making like $200,000 a year, or like $20,000 a month, posting little sidewalk signs that said need a website, and he put his phone number on it. And I think it was like on a podcast or something where I saw this. So there's different ways to try to build your business and to try to build your freelancing portfolio and get clients. So Upwork and Freelancer and Fiverr and all these other websites aren't the end all be all, but it's very aggravating to have to go on there and deal with the way that these sites are set up. And they're not in favor of the freelancer, even though that the freelancer is what they're selling, right? Essentially, We are the commodity that they're selling to their clients and the clients that are looking for freelancers, yet the freelancers end up being the ones that have to pay the most. And it's unfair, and I don't like it. And after experiencing what it was like to try to get a gig on Upwork for a month, because that's all I paid, and I didn't buy extra credits because I just thought it was bullshit. You know, after spending all of my credits and then getting prompted to buy more credits because it was like, you're out of credits, you need to buy more credits so that you can bid on jobs. I was just like, this is a scam. This is a joke. Upwork is a joke, and I'm sure all these other freelancing websites are a joke. I don't want to deal with these websites. And in the future, if I try to freelance, I am going to reach out to my network of people that I know, and I'm going to reach out to individuals personally, and I'm going to use like my reach on social media, which is an advantage that I have, which I could use so that I can get freelancing work or find little jobs here and there that I can do that don't have to be a full-time job. But I played around with the idea of freelancing, and I thought that Upwork would be a good way to do it since I had a tiny bit of, repertoire on there, and I realized that I was wrong. And I just want to say that I think that Upwork sucks, and I feel sorry for anyone who's just starting out freelancing. And again, there's people who have made a ton of money on Upwork. I know that I follow a few people on Twitter, and I know that it's doable. But the initial grind and the amount of work that you probably have to do for free or practically nothing in order to build up your Upwork profile and portfolio is probably not worth it at this point, if I'm being honest. So with that said, if you have a bad taste in your mouth for Upwork, let me know in the comments. I'm really interested if it's just me that feels this way. I know it can't be. I really think that Upwork is just a joke at this point. But with that said, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. I hope that people can relate to my sentiment and my rant here in this video I decided to make, talking shit about Upwork. All right, with all that said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.